Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow is the day. Patch 12.0 of World of Warcraft Midnight will be released, and to go along with it, Blizzard has once again rolled out buffs for the Omnium Tome. We've already taken a look at this thing before. It's that borrowed power system that's coming with the patch, and honestly, with these new changes, this thing is even more of a must-have than it already was. We'll take a look at what changes are being made and what's coming your way. And of course, as soon as the patch is out, there will be guides, there will be tips, so definitely leave a like or subscribe, not a video. I'll leave the videos, you please leave the subscriptions. At 38,000, there will be a giveaway, so you're not only helping me, but also giving one of you the chance to win an awesome prize. So I'd say, let's just get started. Basically, I know a lot of people like that. I'm not saying it's a must to do this. In the end, it's a game. Nobody has to do anything. But this Omnium Foliant gives you defense, DPS, and HPS. It would be stupid to go without it if you want to compete with other players in any way. You have to say it clearly, and especially now with these buffs that Blizzard has added, this thing becomes even more important. As soon as there are simulations, we will take a look at how good this Omnium Tome actually is for the individual classes and specs. That's really hard to say right now since the patch isn't out yet, but you can count on it. It's going to give you a pretty good boost. All in all, you can see here, the Omnium Tome is up here at the coordinates 6318 on the island of Keldanas. You can click on the thing there, and there you can interact with it. In the end, you'll need a quest every week. When you complete it, point number 1, the starting quest is down here in Silvermoon on Wednesday at coordinates 4071. You'll get the first talent point, and after that, you have to complete a quest in each of the following 4 weeks. Then you'll always get talent points that you can put into this tome. There are 5 in total. And because this question came up quite often, the whole thing is cross-account, so it's account-wide. You don't have to play through the whole thing again with multiple alts. Week 1, as I said, you get automatically. In week 2, you need to obtain ritualized arcana from ritual sites. That should be with 2. 2 runs should be enough here, so about 15 to 20 minutes. You can also complete it on level 1. In week 3, you need 5 Dark Lake Coalescence. You have to complete a total of 5 attacks of the Doctrine. In week 4, you need to kill a Delph boss, a dungeon boss, or an LFR boss. It's important to loot them. And in week 5, you need to loot the world boss on Val or Naik Tal. That is, kill it and do 3 world quests. And as you can see here, we'll now briefly go over each ability again. The first row gives you either void orbs that deal damage or heal. Or you can summon a fire pillar that deals damage or heals. In the second row, either you get healed when this first rune is triggered, or you get an absorb shield, or you get additional movement speed. In row 3 in this row, it makes sure that in the end, this rune from point 1 leaves a DOT on the targets. You can choose row 4 yourself. You either get versatility, mastery, haste, or crit. And in row 5, either the first row is buffed by 100 or this DOT effect is buffed by 100. Or an echo of the first rune is left on the target, which then deals another 50 damage after 10 seconds. And this is where the aforementioned buffs come into play. The first thing we see is Rune of the Void Touched Orbs, healing increased by 40%. So all in all, this is mainly about healer buffs. The orbs heal 40 more, or the fire heals 40 more. One thing to note about that, at the moment, I find it very, very difficult to say which talent you should choose. If you really don't care at all, then yeah, just pick whatever you feel like. Anyone who wants to get the most out of it will most likely have to use a specific talent again. In row 2, we've increased the Rune of Self-Healing by 40. Honestly, to me, that sounds like the best effect in this row. Absorb Shield is more interesting for tanks, and the movement speed effect, yeah, you just can't trigger that on purpose. So I would always go for self-healing there. That means you get at least a bit more self-heal here. Why not? And in row 3, this Rune of Echoing also gives you another 40 healing buff. All in all, we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. I honestly don't think this will be the last tuning for this tome. Once the whole thing is on the live servers, we'll see. Either this system is OP or it's too weak. Personally, I'm actually leaning toward the latter right now, meaning that it won't really have much of an effect. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some buffs added later on. But, yeah, we also have to wait and see here. You can see it here, for example. You get a Void-touched orb every 10 seconds up to a maximum of 5. When you deal damage to an enemy, the orbs fly towards them and deal 2,700 damage. Of course, it's important to note that this is not yet scaled in the tooltip. And just from the PTR, I don't even know if it scales with int, with Versa, or if it doesn't scale at all. But honestly, if you're in combat the whole time, then you'll only ever get a maximum of 1 orb at a time. Or maybe I'm really getting something ridiculously wrong here. And that means you deal 700 damage every 10 seconds instead. That doesn't sound like much. I think 4,100 healing is already a bit better. And then it gets buffed by another 40. So we're in the range of 6,000 there. Yeah, we will see. Personally, I think the thing is still a bit too weak, but let's wait and see. There are already a few buffs. All in all, that's not bad. That means Blizzard is keeping an eye on the system, and personally, I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I almost always liked these borrowed power systems. And honestly, that doesn't bother me either. As far as I'm concerned, they can gladly bring it into the game. So let's just wait and see. In the end, it's a free boost for you. Even if it's just 1 DPS, it's 1 more DPS that you do in Mythic Plus or in the raid without having to do anything for it in the end. And of course, that also nerfs the content too. With that in mind, thank you very much for watching. What do you think about the system? Feel free to write it in the comments. Until then, take care.